I'm Isabella Umanya.
I'm Lindsay Tweed.
And I'm Haley Tweed.
We are a part of the CCA class of 2013.
I am the author of The Rose Window.
We are the illustrators for The Rose Window.
When we were first doing the sketches, it was a lot of fun because it was like all about picking out colors and what the character would look like and where she would go, and
it's incredible. They're so talented. It's just they like threw it out of the park, like Americans would say.
The story is just pretty much about this little girl who has to move from Britain in World War II to South Africa. And while we were making the book, I was just pretty much thinking about the mood and the color scheme and how I wanted to pretty much present in each picture this growth of this little girl kind of moving from this frightened, scary place and just those colors of like life being brought back into the character and brought back into her world, and kind of seeing God in that too.
The message of the book is not to be afraid. It's basically Joshua 1:9. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, that the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. It is an allegory of my life in a way. I grew up in Bogota, Colombia, where the guerrillas and the government have been going on a 60-year civil war. This war became personal to me because I grew up knowing that my mom, my grandfather, and my aunt had been kidnapped for 6 months by the guerrillas. So I was like, okay, how can I, that I'm from this privileged society, how can I help the less privileged children that actually have to go and fight for these guerrillas? So since I was very, very little, I used to have always a compassionate heart. So when I came to the US, CCA sends a mission trip to Mexico. The whole class goes on a mission trip to Merida, Mexico in 11th grade, but I couldn't go because I was getting my green card. So a couple of months before, I started to pray to see, okay, God, I can't go on this mission trip. I was prepared for it. I was looking forward to it since I speak Spanish. And I'm like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? So that's when the idea of writing a book just like started to gave birth in my heart, I guess you could say. So the week that all my classmates were in Mexico, I sat down and I wrote my children's book. While I was writing it, I remember I just felt like the Holy Spirit was, in a way, writing it through me.
While we were on the Mexico trip, one thing that I really touched me was that we got to see the little kids. And a lot of them were sick and have so much less than we really do. And I remember on the trip asking God to use me for more and to use our art skills for more than we expected. And then right when we came back, Isabella says, I'm making a book. And I was like, wow, go Isabella. And then it was like, we want you to do the illustrations. It's like, so it's amazing how God was just tying us all together to prepare us for this.
A couple of months after I couldn't go to Mexico, I finally got my green card and I was able to go to Uganda with the high school ministries of Calvary Chapel, Fort Lauderdale. In the orphanage, I met this little girl. Her name was Gayla. So before we were having dinner, we all sang. We all get together and we sang. And I saw her and she didn't smile, she didn't laugh, she didn't do anything like that. So I put her in my lap and I began to hug her and to sway back and forth. And then I heard basically the most beautiful laugh I've ever heard before in my life. And my tears just began to fall. And I was like, I cannot imagine my life at 4 years old like this little girl, like without a mother. It's 2.3 million orphans in Uganda because a whole generation was swiped down because of HIV. 2.3 million children, orphans, like no mother, no father because of HIV. Some kids actually had to leave the school because they couldn't pay $16 a semester. $16 a semester, that's less than a shirt at Target or, you know? So then I was like, I boarded the plane and I was like, okay, what can I do to fix this? So I was like, okay, I wrote this book. I was praying to God to tell me like where to allocate the money that I would get with the book. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm doing. All the proceeds are going towards the orphanage of Uganda and some of the orphanages in Colombia, Neiva, which is where my mom is from. When you're poor, you can't get out of that mentality, and I believe that the only way you can do it is through knowledge of Jesus Christ and just through education. Education is a basic need, a basic right that every single human being ought to have.
I really hope that God uses it in unexpected ways. With God, He takes it somewhere you never expected it would go and then just amplifies it by a million. Like, I never thought I would be here talking to a camera.
Ditto. Ditto, ditto, ditto. something deeper than that. All the kids in Uganda get all the money.
All the kids.
So probably I won't solve like the whole poverty issue here in the world, but it's probably one seed that is gonna be able to reap a lot of fruit.
When we went to Mexico, we were able to see these adorable kids who really needed help, and so Isabella came to us and we were able to make this great book, and we're just kind of sailing it goodbye as it goes help children.